listening to, I say you are listening to, you are absolutely listening to the George Espenlaub Show, coming to you live from the Funny Farm. Now, with no further ado, here comes Georgie!
Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, wow. Y'all routed up tonight. Is that a word, routed up? No, you're rowdied up. That's not a word. That's an Espenlaub word. You're all rowdied up tonight. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends, Romans, and countrymen, lend me both of your ears because we have one fantastic show planned for you tonight. So whether you're down the street, around the corner, across America, or somewhere around this great big world, thank you for taking the time to tune in to the George Espenlaub Show live from the Funny Farm in a place called our world. And you all know it's a whole lot safer here than it is in your world. Many have come, few have left. Once you're here, even if you decide to leave for a little while, your friends, acquaintances, family will know the difference immediately. And they'll look at you like something happened to you. And trust me, it really, really did. Something happened to you. You may not realize it, but people immediately know something is different about you. And then it dawns on you, I was just at the Funny Farm. I better go back. And we welcome you back. Everyone here has a voice. And so, thank you. Thank you for tuning in. You'll never be the same again. I promise you. Hey, listen, I do want to make these announcements. We are endeavoring, and I've said this so many, many times, we are endeavoring, we are diligently working behind the scenes to put this, we're putting a radio station together. So little by little, piece by piece, day by day, we are adding pieces to the puzzle. So please bear with us. We're going through some growing pains. Sometimes we just get some brain cramps, and we just we don't really know what we're doing or how we're doing it. Oh, stop it! We don't really know what we're doing or how we're doing it. So we just take a deep breath, sit down, think about it, get back up, and try it again. So we are endeavoring, working hard to make this all come to pass. And trust me, we're going to get it. We really, really are going to get it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, tonight we have with us one of the best in the business. Trust me. Once you hear this young lady's songs and her singing, you are going to be running to grab the songs, to download them, purchase them. She's going to be on your playlist, I'll guarantee you. So with no further ado, we want to welcome into the chair here on the farm, on the front, on a Friday night, Miss Pam Taylor. Pam, thank you for being on the George Espenlaub Show.
Hey, George. Thanks for having me.
And folks, you'd never know that she's a Southern girl, would you? I don't. That accent, I just love that.
Gave it away.
Yeah, I just love that accent. So, Pam, tell us a little bit about Pam Taylor.
Oh, wow. Well, small town girl, still live a mile up the street from my mama and daddy. I started out playing music in church and on piano, actually. And I got my first guitar when I was 18. I started writing songs about that time. I was going through a breakup, and I started writing, and my daddy got me a guitar, and I just wrote songs, and I was always known as the girl in the corner at parties playing music, even though nobody was listening. And yeah, I just kept writing. I kept wanting to tell my story, and it was a way to balance my crazy emotions. So I say music saved me in a way, and what I do now for a living is kind of my way of paying back music for saving my life. I'm trying to keep it alive. I'm heavily rooted in the blues thanks to my dad. My dad is he played sax on my first record, and I got a lot of my influences from him. He brought me up listening to Elvis, Wilson Pickett, James Brown, Junior Walker and the All-Stars, and some really good old country. My grandpa, Melvin Taylor, he was a country gospel guitar player. So music really runs deep in my family. And even his grandparents were both musicians. They were full-blooded Indians, and she played a harp, and he played a harmonica. So it's just in my blood, you know. I can't not do it. And then I sold cars for 15 years with my dad before I became a full-time musician. So that's where I got most of my blues from, repossessing people's cars.
I've heard a lot of things, Pam, but I've never heard that one before. That's a good one.
True story. I know I had a lot of people from my small town hate me and love me because, you know, they did not like their cars getting taken. And, you know, I'm like, well, you know, I got to pay my bill, so I'm going to have to take your car so I can pay my light bill. Yeah, it was definitely something. That was another thing. It wasn't something I set out to do. It's a family business, and just like music, you know, it runs in the family. And about 2014, I think I had released my first record in 2000, right at the end of 2012. Hot Mess. It did really well, and it was just a project me and my dad did together, just to kind of document us playing music together. We didn't really have a plan for it, and the good thing about my job is it didn't take all day to repossess people's cars, so I would sit and submit my CD to radio stations all over the world, and the next thing I know, it's hit #1 on Roots Music Report, and I mean, just playing all over the world on radio stations, and people were really digging it. And I was like, what? This is cool. And so another year passed, and I juggled touring on the weekends just as far as I could drive, and then get back home and working during the week. And I come into work one day on my birthday, and my dad says, well, the business isn't doing too well, and you're the lowest on the totem pole, and so we're going to have to let you go. And I couldn't imagine ever being happier that I didn't have to do that anymore. And I've been a full-time musician ever since like March 2014. And I've made a couple records since then. My latest record, Steal Your Heart, I put out in 2017. And I ended up traveling all the way around the world promoting that record. Since my band broke up, I ended up going solo, and that was my first solo record. And I ended up doing my CD release party in Israel.
Wow.
Yeah, I just took off, and I just kept going. And it shocked me. I had no idea if anybody was going to be there or not, but it was standing room only.
I think I read that.
You know, there's just magic. There's magic in music. I've had a lot of amazing things happen and open up in my life because of music, relationships, friendships, you know, not even talking about like cool festivals I've played, or just the people you meet. Musicians are an amazing group of people, and they're like soul brothers and sisters. You know, only another musician knows what struggles another musician has. So it's just, I don't know, it's just been a really crazy, wild journey. Let me tell you that. It's definitely not for everybody.
Two things. I have always, the biggest part of my life is, you know, you'd be talking with people and saying things and acting silly and goofy and all those things. And I'd always say, now look, it's nothing personal, strictly business. And we've heard that on radio or on television shows, movies, so on and so forth. But when you said that you come back one day and Dad said, you're the lowest on the totem pole, we got to let you go. The first thing that crossed my mind was nothing personal, strictly business. But yet, I couldn't help but chuckle, and please forgive me. Dad was telling daughter, nothing personal, strictly business. So please forgive me. I just found it somewhat amusing. The other thing is, Pam, I am always awe-stricken, for lack of a better term, of how many musicians, past and present, have started their musical roots in church.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
Strong foundation there.
Did you play in church, sing in church, or both?
I sang in the church choir, the youth choir, and I played piano, and I played the handbells, and I was on like a drama club where we reenacted plays and things like that. So I was very involved in church growing up in all kinds of arts.
So did you say that your dad played the sax in one of your songs or your first cuts, or
the whole record, Hot Mess? My whole record. He's a sax man on that record.
I love to hear saxophones. And when I was playing,
he's one of the best.
When I was playing this afternoon, I thought, wow, I like that.
Yeah, that's my dad. We call him Mike.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends, Romans, and countrymen, Hot Mess by Pam Taylor.
She's out every night. She wears a dress way too tight. She's out on the town until the morning light. It never crosses her mind the way she's living ain't right. She puts her perfume on. She puts it on way too strong. Yeah, she finds her man, but he's always Mr. Wrong. When she figures it out, She lives a life hard and fast. Yeah, she's a hot mess. Oh, baby, she's a hot mess. Yeah, she's a hot mess. Oh, baby, she's one hot mess. Yes. No, she ain't like the rest. She lives a life hard and fast.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was cool. I like that.
Well, thank you.
Dad, is Dad still playing?
Yeah, he does. He's actually got a show tomorrow night in
Wow.
Charlotte with a group of musicians. He can't tour with me, so he just plays local gigs around here. And then whenever I have a local gig, he'll come and sit in with us.
Wow.
He's covered in grandbabies, so
There's nothing like grandbabies. I have 11 of them. Some of them,
whoa.
some of them aren't babies no more. The oldest grandbaby will be 30 next month, and then the youngest grandbaby is 5. So I've got them all the way up, all the way up.
Wow.
So I know what Dad is going through, covered in grandbabies. There's nothing better to be covered in. Wow.
Right.
So
Yep.
you guys are getting ready to go on tour. Is that right?
That's right. We leave next weekend
So,
for a spring break Florida tour.
ooh. So where are you going first?
First, we stop off in Brunswick, Georgia at the Blue Door. That's the 29th. We play leap year.
Mm.
And then we got a couple days off where we'll meet up with some of the band members that we'll be touring with for a couple rehearsals. And then we head to Inglewood, Florida, where we're playing at Inglewood's on Dearborn. That's March 4th. And then March 6th, we're at Little Bar in Goodland, Florida. And then on the 7th, we're in Sarasota at J-Dub's Brewing Company. And then the big show, March 13th, is Bonita Springs Blues Festival. And then we'll hang out there for the weekend, and then on Sunday we take off to Gainesville, where we're doing a special show for the North Central Florida Blues Society, where we're the host. We do a Women in Blues show, and then we head to Pensacola, Florida, where we are doing an event for the Blues Society of Northwest Florida, and we're the host band for their Monday Night Blues. And then the next weekend, we're in Panama City Beach playing Miss Newbies on the 20th and the 21st.
Wow.
Or is that the 21st and the 22nd? I keep getting it mixed up. It's the Friday and Saturday. The 20th and the 21st, yes.
Wow.
Yeah, and then we'll head home.
You guys are going to be quite busy, to say the least, huh?
Yeah, I think we got a couple weeks off. Peter's birthday was yesterday, and my birthday's March 18th. So we're going to be celebrating our birthdays while we're in Florida. And our big wish is to go to Disneyland, or Disney World. It's Disney World in Florida, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they have a new Star Wars theme park, and that's where we want to go so badly. So we're going to try to make that happen.
Well, happy birthday to Peter, and happy early birthday to you.
Thank you very much.
Or early happy birthday. I don't know how you say it, but happy birthday nonetheless to you guys.
Thank you.
The flying, how do you say it? The flying bees?
The Flying Bees.
The flying bees. Tell me about that. What's that mean? How did get that name?
Oh gosh, well, it's got a lot of different meanings to us personally. You know, one obvious is because I play a flying V guitar. And another one is it's the peace symbol. You know, you throw your fingers up, your peace sign, it's a V.
Mm-hmm.
And another one is it's the Roman numeral for number 5.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know if you are into numerology or anything like that, but numbers are ancient language. And a long time ago, I adopted the number 5, probably in my early 20s. I might have been 21. Number 5 became my number. And I started using it in passwords and things like that, and email addresses. And then I met Peter, and I was telling him about my fascination with the number 5. And there's lots of metaphysical, you know, the 5-pointed stars and things like that, and the pyramids, and so there's a lot of metaphysical reasons for the number 5, for it to be a mystical number. And I was in a metaphysical store one day whenever I was on tour in Florida, and I stopped in there, and it said it had a thing called Cards of Illumination, and you look up your birthday, and it'll tell you what playing card you are, and then gives you like characteristics of your personality and stuff like that. So I look up my birthday. I'm a 5 of diamonds.
Huh.
So I buy the card. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's my 5. Of course, I'm a 5. And, you know, a diamond, under a lot of pressure and heat and a harsh environment, it becomes polished and becomes a diamond. And that's kind of how I feel in my life anyway. So I got it on my refrigerator. I had it for a couple of years. And then I met Peter, and I was telling him about it. And I went to go get the card, and I took a picture of it and sent it to him. And he's a 5 of diamond. His birthday, I'm 318, he's 220, and they were right beside of each other. So we're both 5 of diamonds.
Wow.
So that's another reason for the V's. And Peter, his last name is Vaughn, and it starts with a V.
Wow.
So there's some of the reasons why for the flying V's.
That's amazing.
Right?
I'm sitting here speechless. I mean, that's so cool the way that it happened, and how it goes about. You play a mean guitar. You said your dad gave you one when you was 18 and you started playing guitar. But
Yep, it was a Washington acoustic.
Where did you learn to play the blues the way that you play the blues?
Well, I'm self-taught for the most part. I took piano lessons at an early age, and anything to do with lessons or theory or any of that, it just turned me off. Like, I don't even touch a piano really today, just because of the nightmares I had from my mom, like making me practice, and just the recital pieces, and I just hated it. And so I was like, I'm scared to take guitar lessons because I'm scared the same thing would happen to me, that I would just not want to do it. So I taught myself how to play. I got my first electric guitar whenever I was 27. My dad had just taken me on my first legendary rhythm and blues cruise, and I got my first big dose of blues, and I come home and I was like, I want to learn how to play like that. Because I was standing in the crowd one night, and we were leaving the dock, and the sun was setting, and this guy was on stage, and he started playing his solo on his guitar, and I swear, George, I just started crying. Like, I could feel this man's emotions through his guitar, and I was like, I want to do that. When I get home, I'm gonna start learning how to do it. And I've been a big fan of all kinds of music. I mean, I've got so many influences, not just the ones my dad. Like, I was a rager in my late teens and early 20s. Like, I went to Ozfest, and I was the one in the middle of the mosh pit, crowd surfing. Like, I was crazy, full of angst, angry teenager, and I loved hardcore, heavy rock. And so you'll hear a lot of that in my music too. But nothing really made like tug at my heartstrings like the way blues guitar does. And so it was really hard for me in the beginning. I was just a strummer, And I just mainly learned how to play guitar just to support my songwriting. Songwriting has always been my number one thing. And my dad's like, well, you got to have you got to have an instrument. And so that's when he got me the acoustic guitar. So I go on this blues cruise, and I'm hanging out with all of these people, and then I come home, and I'm just like so excited, and I meet up with some friends, and it seemed like everybody that I met after that point was into the blues or played blues guitar, and I learned a lick here, I learned a lick there, and I put stuff together, and I kind of faked it till I made it, kind of with my blues guitar playing. And then when I lost my job and I had all this free time, I had just met Debbie Davies on a blues cruise, and she posted that she was doing Skype guitar lessons. So I didn't have to live near her. She would just do them online. And I was like, yes. So I hit her up, and I started studying under her. And I had a learning curve because we were on a computer, but it wasn't like I was learning the very basics. You know, I had a decent knowledge of guitar at that point, so it was easier for me than it would be a beginner to learn on the internet. But yeah, so every week I would sit down at my computer and work with Debbie Davies, and she taught me some licks and taught me how to connect some dots. And I still don't know, like, I still consider myself self-taught because I never took like beginner lessons. So I also consider myself a clumsy player because I didn't learn the right way. I learned the wrong way. So I play my D's totally different than anybody else. And they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, that's a D chord. I was like, that's not how you play a D. I was like, well, that's how I play a D. So it's kind of like one of those kinds of experiences. And I learned enough to express my emotions. And there's so much more. Like I had my first guitar lesson today, as a matter of fact, with somebody local, because I'm ready to level up. I'm getting complacent. You know, I'm not studying as much. Peter's teaching me how to play the drums, and I'm more interested in that right now because that's like totally brand new. And then when I was on tour in Europe, I stayed with his family in Scotland, and he made me a lap steel guitar and then shipped it to me. And so I've been playing lap steel, which I'm going to break it out for the first time on tour, this tour. So I've been studying up on that. So it's just, you know, I think maybe other musicians go through it. Maybe I'm the only one. I'm not sure. But I get bored, and I don't want to practice. I don't want to learn more. And then I'm like, okay, I get kind of sick of my own licks. I'm like, oh, I sound the same. I'm playing the same stuff over again. And it's time to level up. And so that's kind of, I'm learning all these new instruments, playing the drums, and, you know, and taking guitar lessons again to kind of improve. Because when you go back and you have bad habits, like I got bad habits on guitar, which I learned today very strongly by my guitar instructor. He was like, no, you're playing it all wrong. And I'm like, okay. So it's like, I got to go untrain this dog and teach it new tricks. So I'm...
it's
really interesting battle had with the instruments.
It's hard to break bad habits, isn't it?
It is. And now I wish I'd, like my younger self, like, sit back down, learn it right the first time, because your future self is going to love you for it instead of hate you like she does now. But no, it's all good. I have to laugh at myself. I'm really critical, but I have to give myself a break because, you know, my progress is what I have to focus on. And I think that's important for every musician, because we're our own worst enemy. And when we start getting really down on ourselves, it's not good for anybody. And we're less productive, and we don't feel like doing things because we're so down on ourselves and feel like nobody's going to listen. I'm not as good as I think I should be. And, you know, so I feel like the more musicians I talk to, a lot of us have this same kind of way of thinking, and it pushes us forward, and to stay relevant, to stay fresh, you know, and come out with something new that people have never heard before. I think it's important to always hone your craft, even when you don't feel like it. It's like on my to-do list. Practice guitar at least 20 minutes a day, and I still don't do it. I'll find a million other things to do. And then right before I get ready to go on a tour, I'm cramming.
Mm-hmm.
I would that's on my list of things to do for this year is to not do that.
I'm going to play this next song, but before I do, you were chosen to sing this for a movie.
Oh, yeah.
I was reading about that this afternoon. After I play it, would you please tell us the story of how this all came about?
Absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are in for a treat. I mean, you are in for a treat. Miss Pam Taylor, Rising Sun.
There is a house in New Orleans they call the Rising Sun, and it's been the ruin of many a poor girl. And God, I know I'm one. My mother was a tailor. She sewed my new blue jeans. My father was a gambling man down in New Orleans. Now the only thing a gambler needs is a suitcase and a trunk. The only time he's satisfied is when he's on a drunk. Oh, mother, tell your children not to do what I have done. Spend your life in misery in the house of the rising sun. I got one foot on this platform, the other foot on this train. Well, I'm going back to New Orleans to wear that ball and chain. There is a house in New Orleans they call the Rising Sun. It's been the ruin of many a poor girl. And God, I know I'm one. And God, I know I'm one.
That is a total different rendition of The Rising Sun that I have ever heard. Of course, that was made for a movie, correct?
Yes. It'll be, I've released it. I'm actually, when we get back from tour, working on a music video to go with it. The movie comes out in September. It's called Fate Alchemy. And I'm working with the director to coincide a music video to go with the movie. So it's going to include me in it and some scenes from the movie. It's going to be super creepy and very artistic, and I'm really excited to get back and to get to work on that. And we've got some other exciting things in store.
You are the little lady with the big voice, Pam.
Thank you.
When I listen to your music, I just think, wow. What talent. I mean, what God-given talent. I guess that's the only way we can describe it. It's just God-given talent that enables someone to sing like that. There's a story behind how you were chosen to sing this for the movie. Could you tell us about it?
Yeah, it started, probably in 2016. I think I was in Asheville playing a show, and it started with I passed a girl on. I was either on a break or about to start my show, and she just looked really sad, and I stopped her, and she had on this knitted sweater with all kind of rainbow colors on it, and it just caught my attention, and I just stopped her and complimented her on her shirt or something like that, and I didn't know that she had like a really crappy night. I think she'd gotten into an argument with a boyfriend or something along the lines of that, and and she didn't know me. I just walked past her, gave her a compliment, and we hugged, and then I got on stage, and she was like, "Oh my gosh!" And come to find out, she's the roommate of the director for the movie. But it was like right after the show was over, she walked outside, and this is something I didn't know until I was, talking to the director at his house about recording this song. She'd stepped out. Her night just turned around after that. She said she was just upbeat and happy, and she found this really cool little glass marble with a flower in it, and she picked it up and kept it. And it always reminded her of that night and meeting me and my music. And I think one of my songs that night, it might have been Already All Right or something like that, really connected with her because she needed to hear it. And so fast forward, and I'm at the director's house. She reached out to me and was like, "I don't know if you remember me, but I met you in Asheville, blah, 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 and my roommate is doing a movie, and we were trying to think of the perfect person to sing a song in it, and I immediately thought of you. Will you come over and talk to him about it?" Da, da, da. And that's how I was like, yeah, I mean, I've always wanted to be in it, like have my music in a movie, but it wasn't something that I put a lot of attention and focus on, like sending my songs to publishing companies and things like that. I was working on manifesting. I was like, so I just put it out there to the universe. That would be really cool if my songs were in a movie. Yay. And I kept going on my business. And so whenever I got the message from her, I just immediately said yes. I don't even think I knew what the song was. I just was anything to be involved in a movie. I was all about it. So I went and we talked about it, the way they wanted the song portrayed, totally different, stark with the synthesizers, didn't really care, to have my band in it or anything, just wanted my vocals to sing it very hauntingly. and it was something totally out of my comfort zone, and I'm so glad I did it. But she come out, and she had that marble in her hand and told me that story that night, and she gave it to me, and I have it on my desk now. So, just little things like that. You never know when you stop and compliment somebody, or just make whatever you can do to put a smile on somebody's face, like what repercussions. It's like the butterfly effect, Mm-hmm. You heard that, a butterfly flaps his wings and a tsunami hits across the world or something. You just never know what kind of chain of events it'll set off with the act of kindness. And so that's how that came about. And the same this movie, Say Alchemy, he put it out there to all these indie film festivals, and I think he's up to like 15 awards.
Wow.
For this movie. Yeah, so super excited for when it comes out. I mean, it has just been killing it out there in the film festival world. So I can't wait to see what happens when it's actually released. It'll be available September 2020 to stream on Amazon Prime, I believe. But the director, since he's had such great luck with this film, which is something, my music is like upbeat, like hippy dippy is what my daddy calls it, and spreading sunshines and rainbows and unicorns. But this movie is like a Quentin Tarantino film. It's just like really dark. It's a dark comedy. I mean, some really messed up things happen. And he was like, "Are you sure you want to be a part of, like, your persona is like so cheery?" And I was like, "No, because this is like a side of me that not a lot of people get to see, actually." So it was very refreshing to be associated with something that's a little dark, because I write dark songs sometimes, because that's a part of who I am. But the director is making a new movie, and he's got a bigger budget because of all the awards and things, and he's got a lot of attention. And Peter and I just auditioned for roles in his movie, and we got it. So we are actually going to be in a movie. We start filming in April.
Wow.
When we get back from tour. So we're going to be movie stars.
Wow. All right. When I was reading
so
that,
you never know. Just me complimenting that girl at one night ended up my song in a movie and me in an actual movie. So I'm really excited.
Those things have always fascinated me. That, I mean, stranger upon stranger, and all of a sudden this happens, that happens, and it's almost like a domino effect. It's happening. And I often sit back and think, if people would really open their eyes and pay attention, I mean, really, really get their senses peaked up, perked up, whatever you want to call it, they could actually see these things taking place, and that could happen in their lives. When I read that, I thought, that is fabulous, because it just started with a compliment, a hug, and like you said, we just don't know what might come of something that happens just like that. I find that amazing. So now, singer, songwriter, you and Peter are going to be in the movies. That old song, what is it? We're going to put you in movies.
We're going to put you in movies.
Yeah.
You're going to make a big star out of me.
That's it.
I'm trying, man.
That's it. Ladies and gentlemen, all I got left, Pam Taylor.
You did me wrong, left me for someone new. Now all my happy times took off with you. You left me alone. All I got left is the blues. I've been taken for a ride, y'all, played for a fool. Sometimes you gotta learn the hard way. All I got left is the blues. Well, I tried to drink you off my mind, but then I lost that too. And I can't win for losing, y'all. But the real loser here is you. Oh, 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 you broke my heart, and my pride too. I've been taken for a ride, Lord, played for a fool. Sometimes you gotta learn the hard way. All I got left is the blues.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. My. I have always loved the blues. Always, always. My grandson, who is in the Marine Corps, in fact, he just re-enlisted in the Marine Corps, every time he comes home, in fact, from the time he was probably 14 or 15, we did a lot of camping. Every time we'd be camping, we would be playing the blues. Some people would just walk off and leave us, which we didn't care. Other people would come around and join us because there is just, I mean, that's real life. That is real, getting down into real life when you're listening to the blues. I just love it.
And what some people don't understand is it's the root of every genre of music today.
Yes.
Nothing else would exist if it weren't for the blues.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a story. If people listen to the lyrics, they can feel the musician's or the songwriter's heartbeat, and I always listen for a heartbeat because that's from the soul. I mean, that goes deep into the marrow of the soul, where that music comes from. Don't you agree?
I do. I think that's why it had such an effect on me. You know, I wanted to not only play my instrument in that way so I could express myself, but to think about what that musician did for me that night, you know, listening to it. And at that point, I think I was in my first band, and I wasn't even playing guitar, and I was playing party songs. Like I was a party cover band. Mm-hmm. The first time I really got a big dose of the blues, and that's when it was no longer enough for me, like just playing other people's music. That's why, like, you rarely hear me cover other people's music. I recorded I'd Rather Go Blind on my first record, and I did that for my mother, and my whole Steal Your Heart record is all original music. Like it just became something like more than just music. It's a way to tell my story. Like I feel like getting it out of me helps me heal, and there's some kind of magic that happens from when I'm on a stage and I'm singing my song, and then somebody comes up to me afterwards and they tell me something, a lyric or a melody. Like some people don't even hear lyrics, they hear the music, and then I've met some people that don't even hear the beat.
Mm-hmm.
Like like people hear music so differently, and for my music to reach so many different kinds of people and to have this impact on them, it's just, it's infectious. It makes me want to do it more. It makes me want to write more. It makes me want to perform more. You know, that's connecting with my audience, and just, I don't know, that's just everything to me. Like, I can sit in my room and write songs all day long, but if I don't get to play them for people and spread that, it's like that feeling I had, whatever process I went through healing, when I wrote it, it amplifies it when I keep singing it, and especially to a room full of people. And then that energy gets pushed right back at me. It's like, hey, it's only thing I can say is it's magic. Like, music is magic to me. I think it's inside of all of us. Whether you play an instrument or not, we are made of music. It's a vibration. It's a feeling. If you could see emotions when you have them, it's music. It's sound waves. So it's just, I don't know, it's fascinating to me, and I'm just grateful that that's what I do for a living.
It's, I've got a thing that most of the time I'm always goofing around. If I'm serious for more than 30 seconds, I scare myself. So I'm always goofing around, and I'm always saying to my wife of 51 years, I'll say, "You have to express yourself," and she'll say, "If you don't get out of here, I'm going to express you." But nonetheless. You have to express yourself, and music. I forget who I had on. I've had a whole lot of people out of Denver on, but I asked one group one night, can any of us ever imagine a world without music? I mean, there's enough dingbats out there right now, but I mean, if there would be no music, I think we would all be stark raving mad.
Have you ever tried to imagine watching your favorite movies without the music in the background?
Yeah.
Like it amplifies everything, the emotion that you're feeling. You know something bad's about to happen by the way the music's heading. Like it tells a story, even if it doesn't have lyrics.
Right. The good guys are coming. You can tell the good guys are coming by the music.
Yep.
And the bad guys
are the tone.
Yeah, the bad guys are going to do something bad by the music. Music. It expresses you. You express it. I mean, we're just spiritual, musical beings. I guess, for lack of a better term. Miss Pam, you write for Veracity. Did I say that right?
Virtuosity.
Yeah, okay. Espenlaub can blow up the English language. Yeah.
Well, that's okay. Let me try to pronounce your last name and see how I go.
Go ahead. Give it a shot.
Espenlaub?
You got it.
Espenlaub?
Yeah.
Am I close?
Espenlaub.
Espenlaub.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I very rarely say it right myself. I've had it all my life. I still can't say it right. But
we had to chop off Peter's last name. His last name is Von Fall, but if you saw it written, you wouldn't be able to pronounce it. So we just chopped it off and made it Peter Von. I was like, I can't say it on stage, Peter. I'm just gonna drop it.
Hey, whatever works, right?
Yep, it works.
But you're writing for, it's a radio station, and it has a magazine and so on and so forth. You're writing for those folks now, right? With what's her name?
Yes, sir.
Kim Carney.
Kim Carney.
Yeah.
Yes, it's her baby. I remember when I first met her, she was working on at Music Mafia radio station, and we have a very fascinating story. There's an article in Virtuosity about how we connected through feathers. We both had the same birds, and her bird had died, but she was researching my music because they were having me on the show. And she saw, also a jewelry maker. I have my own jewelry line called Songs You Can Wear by Pam. And she was looking at my Etsy store and saw these feather earrings that I made. And she wanted to order a set because her bird, Horton McFlutter, had just died. So she sent me a message with a picture of Horton. And it's the same exact bird I had. I had a bird exactly like hers named Leroy. And so instead of just giving her a pair of earrings, I made a special set for her that mimicked, if you know what a cockatiel looks like, it's got the yellow head with the orange circle cheeks and the gray and white body. And so I made earrings and a necklace matching set for her. And that's how her and I became really good friends. And you know, she had these big dreams like me. We both are tenacious. You mentioned that word earlier. That's my nickname I gave her, Tenacious K. And so we started brainstorming, and then fast forward a year later, she's got Virtuosity. She's no longer with Music Mafia Radio, and she's got her own radio station and her own magazine, and I write for her. You know, that was something I've always, like before I was songwriting, I was doing creative writing. I won a bunch of awards as a child, writing crazy stories, and you know, I want to write a book, a tell-all maybe. I might have to wait for some people to die first, but I'm going to write a book. I'm going to write a book one day. And I figured what better way to, you know, to flex my writing muscle in that arena of writing than to write for her and just get people used to seeing me as a writer and doing interviews and just, you know, just putting it out there. I wrote my own blog, but it didn't get much traffic. And I write posts on Facebook and they always have a positive message. That's what I try to do is I call them Pamisms. When I have an idea and then I have like my twist on it and like put my experience, my 2 cents on it and put it back out there in the world with a positive spin on it to try to help anybody who's listening or reading. And you know, when she approached me about writing, I was like, you know, she'd give me a bigger platform, you say I got a big voice, and she's like, I want to make it bigger. And I'm like, okay. So we've been kind of on the dream, we call it a dream team. And I've been helping her. She's been helping me achieve our dreams. And, so yeah, I mean, it's been pretty fascinating watching her and the things that she's been through coincide. Like I've had a bunch of really crappy things going on in my life. At the same time, all these wonderful, amazing blessings it's just like, I guess it's got to tip the scale somehow or make it even somehow. You know, you can't have all bad and no good. And let me tell you, it's about equal with all the awesome things that are happening, and it just keeps me grounded. You know, too much good, and then it's like you lose your head.
Mm-hmm.
But then, you know, you got the everyday real things that happen that, and I think sometimes musicians or artists, movie stars, they get put in this box and they seem unreachable or untouchable to fans and people. And I just don't want that to happen to me. You know, I just feel like keeping it real. I don't feel like any of those things. That's just what I do, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And just being able to write and connect with people and just talk about everyday stuff and introduce people to new music or people that I find fascinating and make people feel good. That's the main thing. Like really just to put a smile on somebody's face, whether it be with a song or something I wrote or a piece of jewelry I made. Who knows?
Ladies and gentlemen, we have with us tonight a delightful, fun, talented Pam Taylor. And I put up the link on the George Espenlaub show page on Facebook for the magazine. I put your webpage link up there, and we'll put your schedule up there where you're going to be touring here beginning next Saturday. It has.
Thank you, George. Appreciate that.
It has really been a delight. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let you go. My goodness, I've kept you an hour and 2 minutes, and it's still ticking. Some
Oh, I can talk all night.
time goes by when you're having fun.
Well, my favorite is a frog joke. It's time's fun when you're having flies.
That'll work. That'll work. When you were talking about Kim, I want to run this by you, and then we'll get together and figure it all out.
Okay.
Back in October, we started a live stream that's integrated with our radio show, and we have had super duper whooper whopper success with it. I just had a man on yesterday afternoon at 4:00, and we've had over. I think the last time I looked, we had over 1,300 views on that. We had one man on. We've had over 8,000 views. The reason I say that is, I would love to get you and Kim together, and I know you're very busy now, but somewhere down the road where we could get together and we could get you on a live stream show where you and Kim could come on and discuss all these things. And if you guys would be willing to do that, I'd just be tickled pink.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm always up for a good time, George.
All righty. And we can even bring Peter on. I don't mean to be neglecting Peter. We could even bring
Peter, come here and say hey to everybody on the George Espenlaub show.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, Peter, happy birthday, buddy.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate that.
Look, you guys.
He turned 6.
He 26. Okay.
No, 6.
He's
He
6.
got a transformer and a toy dinosaur for his birthday.
Listen, there's nothing wrong with that, Peter. I'm 71, and I'm still.
No, we played video games yesterday on his birthday. That's what he wanted to do.
A little arcade fun.
Look, I've seen some of them so-called adults, grown-up people. They're scary. So I don't
want to do that.
No, I don't never want to be one of them. Whatever I am,
I'm using.
Whatever I am, I'll be with the way that I am. I don't want to be one of them. But listen, Peter, I love you guys' music.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank
you for supporting us and having us on your show.
Oh, look.
Help people know about us.
Where can they get your music? Everywhere?
Well, yeah. I mean, if they want to stream it, it's on Amazon, iTunes, all of that jazz. The only way to get the House of the Rising Sun is to listen to it on YouTube. I'm trying to. The music business is so screwy right now. Like, the artist gets very little compensation for all of our hard work. So my next project, I think I'm going to make it only available through me. You can buy an actual CD from me, from my website, and it comes from me signed with some extra goodies. If you go to Amazon or any of those places like that, I get like a fraction of that, and it don't come with goodies and it don't come signed. So if you want my records, I have all of them available, and I will ship them out to you directly from my website. There's a link if you scroll all the way down to the bottom where it says shop. And then there's links to Peter Makes Prayer Malas. There's a link to his page called Rock God Malas. Be a rock god and wear Peter's malas. And then my link to songs you can wear. And all of that helps support us in what we do and helps us create more music. We're fully self-supported, no labels, nothing. We're fully self-sustained and by our art. And so when you buy directly from the art, and that goes from every artist, like when you buy directly from the artist's website or buy from a show, you can guarantee that money is going to go and help create more music that you love, and that's the reason why you bought it in the first place. So when you go to those big distribution places, I just say I don't see that.
Right.
You know, I get like a fraction of that. So it's just, you know, make sure you support artists by buying directly from them when and where you can. And you can do it at PamTaylorMusic.com. All my social media handles are Pam Taylor Music. So Google me. It feels really good when you do.
Pam Taylor Music. Google Pam Taylor. It makes her feel really good when you do. So, and we want you to feel really good, Pam. We do. So Google.
The better I feel, the better music I make, and the better you feel.
There you go. Wow. Well, listen, I'm going to let you go. Thank you for taking time out of you guys' busy schedule and spending it.
Absolutely, George.
And look, we'll stay in touch. Somewhere down the road, we're going to get Kim and you and Peter together, and we're going to talk about these things on a live stream, so everybody can not only hear you, they'll get to see you, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, sounds like a plan. Let's make it happen.
All righty. Thank you so very, very much. Ladies and gentlemen, as we let them go, I lost my place here. As we let them go, I mean, I'm not reading what I'm writing. I'm looking. Espenlaub.
Anything goes on the George Espenlaub show, y'all.
It does, because this is the funny farm. This is the funny farm. As they leave, we're going to be playing Next Time You Think of Cheating. You guys have a great night, and God bless you. We'll be in touch.
Absolutely. Thank you, George. And bye, friends. Hope to see you out on the road somewhere. Be the light, give the love, and as always, share the music.
That's right. Thank you, guys. God bless you.
You too, George. We'll talk soon. Have a great night.
You too.
Shit ain't right, y'all. I came home late one night, down the line in my bed. I don't remember the lie you told me, but you gon' remember said, yeah. I said, oh baby, when you do me this way, oh baby, how could you do the car. Without no money, baby, you ain't going too far. I took the kids, I even took your boat. Looks like you're drowning, baby. Ain't got no hope. Well, next time you'll think of cheating, baby, maybe you should pack a float. And you got oh baby, oh baby, could you do me the way? Oh baby, I can't believe you took my boat. I said, remember, baby, you are gonna pay. And you kept on crying. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. And I said, remember, baby, you were gonna pay.
Wow, my goodness. Oh, the little lady with the great big voice. Woo. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I sure do thank you for tuning in tonight. We only touched the tip of the iceberg. There is much more music that we'll be playing in the days to come from Pam Taylor. It has been a delight to have her with us. Fun, interesting, and exciting to talk to. I admire her tenacity. She's been there, she's done that. And that's a lesson for each and every one of us. Let's just get up and go do it and get it done. Time went by so quick tonight. Listen, if you didn't, or if you know of someone that didn't listen to the live, you can always come back and listen to it again. In fact, you can download it. It don't cost you anything. Not one single penny. Download it, distribute it, do with it what you want. And I know that you'll be glad that you did. Pam Taylor, you're going to be hearing a whole lot more. Singer, songwriter, musician. Now, she sang for the movie that's going to be coming out in September. And her and Peter has auditioned, and they have been granted parts in a movie. So now they're going to be actors and actresses. Actress and actor. Let me get it right. My hat's off to them. I hope you enjoyed them tonight. Go get their music. Please, go get their music. And make sure that you tell somebody to listen to the show tonight if they wasn't able to listen to it live. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends, Romans and countrymen, thank you for lending me both of your ears tonight. And whether you're down the street, around the corner, across America, or somewhere around this great big world, thank you for tuning in to the George Espenlaub Show. Each and every one of us here at the Funny Farm, oh, we're a goofy lot, so we are. Yes, we are. But we love and appreciate each and every one of you. Your support, your kind words, all the nice things that you've done over the years in supporting this radio show. We all thank you from the depths of our heart. So, wherever you're at tonight, if it's nighttime, you have a great evening. If it's already daytime, you have a wonderful, wonderful day. But regardless of where you are and what time it is, I trust that each and every one of you will be kind one to another, love one another, give somebody a pat on the back, give them a hug, smile at them, and don't ever be afraid to tell somebody, I love you. You could save a life. So, until next time, from all of us here at the Funny Farm to all of you there, wherever you're at, I trust that God will keep you right in the center of His hand. Good night, everybody.